Well, if you take a look here, it's up along the trail, we're looking at a tree that still has a number of leaves attached to it. If we pan around the woods, a lot of trees, being in their deciduous nature, have already dropped their leaves, almost 100% or close. But as you scan the woods, you notice that periodically you see a tree like this one that still has a large number of leaves still on it. This happens a lot with oak trees as well, and they carry many of their leaves well into the winter. And a lot of people wonder why that is, if there's any biological reasoning for that. And some of the thought processes are kind of interesting. One is that if you think about this, it kind of helps to protect the ends of some of the branches where the terminal buds and stuff are, that maybe animals won't be as easily nubbing off the growing parts of a branch. Another hypothesis is possibly they drop much later, like in the spring, and that new vegetation, that dead or material of the leaf, begins to start decaying later, which is a nutritive value to the soil and building a strong humus base for the foundation of the tree and other trees around it. But this is called ironwood, and also has an interesting name called hornbeam. And ironwood gets the name because it's a very strong wood, very strong, one of the strongest in North America. And it gets the other name, hop hornbeam, because if you were to see this tree in the flowering portion of the spring, the flowers look like hops, like we think of beer and hops. That's what it looks like. And the hornbeam is that they're so hard, the tree is so strong, that the pioneers used to use it as the tongue for their oxen, for their carts. So kind of fun to know a little bit about the biology of the trees, but also a little bit about the cultural influences of how the trees got their names and everything. So as you look around, one of the things you can easily do with ironwood, you can put your hand along the tree itself and go back and forth, and the bark seems to slough off very, very easily. And that's another trait of it. So what's kind of fun is, I in my class of land ethics, during the winter time, we talk about how do you identify trees in the winter. Because we're all used to looking at leaves and leaf shapes, but you can find out some pretty cool tricks to use to identify them by the type of bark they have, or possibly by the location of their branches. Are they across from each other? Are they alternate or opposite? What types of scars do they have? Like when a leaf falls off the tree, you can look closely at the scar that it leaves, and that is the definitive. It's almost like a fingerprint. That's pretty cool to do. So that's one thing we cover in our land ethics workshop in the winter months.